Andros, let's start off at the beginning. Born in London, tell us a bit about your early memories growing up in the capital.
Oh, taking me back a few years. I just remember there was a massive field opposite my house. I was one of 5 children, so any opportunity we got, we'd always over the field playing football, playing any games possible. And later on, I think Arsenal Academy bought that field and turned it into their academy complex. So that was my earliest memories, is just playing with my 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
And looking at your family, you said you had 5 siblings. I know your dad was Jamaican descent and your mum's Greek Cypriot descent. It must have been a very multicultural household, I guess.
Yeah, it was. Greeks are quite big families, have quite big family gatherings, so I was more closer to my Greek side, and we had lots of gatherings, lots of barbecues, and yeah, so it was nice growing up, not only with 5 siblings, like you say, but also so many cousins, so many aunties and uncles. It was great to when we always link up together.
Is it still a tight-knit family now?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, moving up north, we don't see each other as much as we would like, but when I was down in London, once a week we'd all link up. They'd come to my house, we'd grab a bite to eat, and we'd all kind of catch up. My sister's got 3 kids as well now, so yeah, it's nice for my 2 kids to interact with their cousins as well.
And obviously, your journey into professional football. Talk us through a little bit about that, the academy system, and first getting into the game.
I remember I played for my local side, Ridgeway Rovers. I think I was 7 maybe. I knew from early on I was probably the best player there, or one of the best players there at the time. I had trials everywhere. I don't know if it was the actual academies or the Centre of Excellence, but I had trials at Arsenal, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, all the London sides, and I was trialling with Arsenal for a year, and then after a year they said that I was too small, too slight, which all the academies back in those days used to say. Then I went straight to Spurs. I think I scored a hat-trick against Leyton Orient in a friendly match on my debut, and they signed me straight away, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Moving to Everton, up to the northwest for the first time, living here. How have you found it so far?
It's been really good, actually. I was actually really surprised because I'm actually a London boy, been in London most of my career, so moving up to north, I thought maybe take some time to adjust, but it's an amazing city. You have everything you want. The kids love it because there's soft plays, there's restaurants, there's anything they could want within a 10-20 minute drive, whereas as you know, in London it takes you 30 minutes to get out your own to the end of your own road. So yeah, we're loving it here. The kids are loving it, the missus is loving it, so yeah, we're happy with the start and we've made in Liverpool so far.
And we'll touch on it more later on, but the people have really seems to have taken to you as well. Have you experienced that in the streets and been around the place?
Yeah, again, it's a massive difference to London. You walk past people in London, they don't even say hi, they don't even look at you, whereas these guys are so friendly, they're so welcoming. Everyone I've met on the street, even before I started playing and scoring, they would welcome me to the club, how happy they were to have me. Whether they meant it or not is another thing, but no, it's such a welcoming city, everyone's so friendly, and yeah, like I said, we're loving being up here.
Has there been anything that's taken you by surprise by the area, Liverpool itself? Has it all been sort of what you expected?
Just how much there is to do, how much there is here. It's a massive city. Obviously, coming from London, you think anything else is a downgrade, but there's so much to do here. And like I said, yeah, I live 10 minutes from the training ground, whereas in London I lived an hour and a half from the Palace training ground. So it's nice. I get to spend more time with kids, and they enjoy it, like I said, because of all the activities for kids here and all the things to do, the shopping centres. So yeah, all in all, it definitely has surprised me.
You spoke about it a lot already, but the manager after Benitez was a big part in you coming here. Talk to us about your relationship and how it's progressed even since joining here.
Well, I think if I take you back to when I was leaving Newcastle, at the time I had a relegation release clause that I could leave if Newcastle got relegated, and Newcastle got relegated, and then it wasn't right, I'm off, see you later. It was so many conversations over the phone with the manager, just talking, and he was trying to talk me around. I was telling him my concerns and why I felt I may have to leave. So I think we built a relationship there where he knew how much I wanted to stay and play under him, play for Newcastle, but unfortunately, ultimately, I decided I need to stay in the Premier League, and since then there was no hard feelings. He understood my decision. We kept in brief contact every now and then. He would send me a text, and we'd talk over text for a bit. And then it was really when he got the Everton job, my agent was saying, Rafa's interested. Yeah, all right, Marlon. Like next joke. And then it took the manager. He made the manager call me just to let me know that he's legit. He said, Andros, I've got the Everton job. I've been watching you the last few months. I know you're out of contract. I know what you can do. I haven't assessed the situation yet, Everton, but don't take another offer without speaking to me first. So that was basically it. And obviously, from time I heard that, it was right, let's long out these other offers as possible. And it came down to a point where a club gave me 48 hours to accept or reject their offer. I spoke to the manager, he wasn't confident, and then thankfully I think it was on my birthday actually, I had a load of family around my birthday, my phone was pinging off, and it was the manager to say that he'd got the green light and how soon can I get down for my medical.
That must have been a crazy time for you, not just for you, but obviously you've got a young family as well. Sort of talk us through that 48 hours.
Yeah. Family-wise, I'm very lucky. My missus and my kids are not in school yet, so my missus is happy to move around wherever benefits me. But it was more a footballing decision. I had an offer to go to Turkey. It was to play Champions League in Turkey, so in a way I was sort of excited for that, but I knew I had so much more to offer in the Premier League. I wasn't able to show what I was fully capable of at Crystal Palace in terms of goal returns and assists and what have you. And I knew there was so much more. I knew I was coming into my physical prime. My physical numbers were proving that. So I was just desperate for another chance in the Premier League to kind of prove what I can do. And that was more the anxiousness. It wasn't about getting an offer or what my family going to do. It was more, can I have another opportunity to prove I'm good enough to play in the Premier League? And thankfully it came, and so far I'm able to prove that.
We touched on it earlier, but it seems that that the fans have obviously taken to you immediately. It seems that you really understand what this club's all about and the values that the fans carry and the club carries. How much did you sort of think about that before you joined, or is it something you've picked up while you've been here?
I think I've played against Everton many times, so I've always known that they've appreciated hard work and effort and all those sort of side of it, and that's something that I was able to bring into my game in the last few years at Palace. So I knew the fans didn't want me at the time. I knew they were more ambitious. They wanted to spend X amount on stars, but I knew that it didn't bother me. I knew I could win these fans over with my hard work first and foremost. So I knew they wouldn't hate me, let's put it that way. I knew they wouldn't hate me, but now I knew they'd appreciate what I could do off the ball. And then now it's about working hard to show that I am good enough on the ball. And like I said before, so far I'm able to repay that faith with goals and assists, and just need to work hard and work hard in training to continue that. It's not an opportunity I expected to happen. Not in my wildest dreams did I expect to be sitting here talking to you guys as an Everton player, but because of that, because I know how fortunate I am, I've made it my goal. I'm not going to let this opportunity pass me by through lack of effort. If I'm not feeling well, if I'm not feeling great, if I'm a bit tired in training, I always make sure I remind myself how lucky I am, and I'll go the extra mile. And like I said, at the moment it's paying off, and just need to focus and work hard to continue to make this pay off.
You were at Palace for quite a long time. You've come into the squad as a senior player now. How have you found that role, and how have you found the dynamic in the changing room?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. The captain, Seamus, he spoke to me, I think, on my first day. Even before I signed, I was in the building, I was waiting, and he made a point to come and speak to me and just to say nothing technical. He said, Andros, we need your experience in the dressing room. If you do so, we need your experience. There's a lot of young lads, a lot of talented players, and we need more players like yourself who can help guide these players. So that was great, literally day one, to have a legend, the captain, Seamus, come and speak to you like that. And now it's like, I still feel young, but unfortunately I'm 30 at the moment. We've got young players like Damari, Alex, Anthony Gordon, great young wingers who I've been through everything they've kind of gone through, the hype, the lows, the criticism. I've been through it all. So if I can help them in any way, even just by my standard in training, what I do off the pitch, my recovery, my professionalism, if I can help them in any way, then that's me doing part of my job, the way I see it.
And talk about the culture as well. You touched on Seamus. How important are players like Seamus and other Evertonians, Duncan, Tom Davis, the kit men, people like that. How important have they been to sort of settle you into the squad and sort of let you know what Everton's all about as well?
I think very important. Like you mentioned, the kit man, Seamus, Dom, Tom, John Joe, Duncan. They've been very helpful for us, and Marcel as well. He, myself, Dimmy, and all the new players. They sat us down. I think it was 2 days before the first the game of the season. They sat us down. They showed us like probably a 10-15 minute video of what the fans expect, what the city of Everton expects from their players. And again, it wasn't about scoring from 25 yards, or it was the other side of it. They were showing clips of players tracking back, getting standing ovations, putting tackles in, putting the hard yards in, and that's what Everton's all about. And I was sitting there watching that thinking, I don't need to pretend that I can do that. I don't need to do anything special to do that, because for me that's natural.
Go and be yourself.
Huh?
Go and be yourself.
Yeah. For me that's natural. Go and be yourself, and these guys will take to you, and thankfully they have.
I want to take you back to obviously the night of the Burnley game, even before the incredible goal you scored. It was the first time you experienced Goodison Park under the floodlights. Obviously Z cars and all that sort of thing as well. How did you feel in that moment and leading up to that game?
Excitement. There's something special about night games in general, but like I said, at Goodison Park with the fans, the atmosphere they create, I knew if we could get ahead, it could be a special night. It was frustrating for the first 40, 50, 60 minutes. We went a goal behind, and there was a moment after we went behind and the fans they didn't boo us, they didn't jeer, they right, we need to help these guys. It was, let's cheer, let's kind of clap, let's kind of give them a boost. And thankfully, within a few minutes, we went from 1-0 down to 3-1 up. And that atmosphere in that 10-minute spell was electric. It was probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced. And it was probably multiplied by the fact that we haven't had that for 18 months during COVID. So it was incredible. It was an incredible 10 minutes.
And it seems crazy to ask you this question, having only played a handful of games, but you've scored a few really good goals already. Anything, or which one do you sort of rank as your favourite? Very different, of course, obviously the great goal at Burnley and the really important one last time out at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I think it's easy for anyone to look at the Burnley one and say that's their favourite, but for me, that's my bread and butter. As weird as it sounds, like my bread and butter is the goals from outside the box. Yeah. What isn't my bread and butter is, for example, the goal against QPR, the goal against QPR, the goal against Huddersfield, the goal at Old Trafford, just getting myself either in the box, in the 6-yard box, or keeping up with play on a counter-attack and having trust in my teammates that they will find me. And going back to the Old Trafford one, it was an incredible ball from Doucouré, and you see in the slow motion replay the care he put in that pass. It would have been rude if I didn't slot it away. So yeah, those goals really, I appreciate those goals more, because that's something I've not been able to do throughout my career, is get those sort of the ugly goals that get you 10, 15 goals a season, as opposed to the one from outside the box where you may get 1 or 2.
So away from football, what do you like to do to switch off? Obviously, it's a high pressure environment.
Yeah. You know what? I've got a lot of stick from this from the boys, because I generally don't really do much. I've got 2 young kids. When I get home, my daughter finishes school around 3 o'clock, or nursery. I just like to chill with the kids until 7, whatever they want to do, whether they want to run around, whether they want to jump on sofas, whether they want to jump on me. For 3 or 4 hours, I like to, that's them running upstairs. I just like to chill with them. And then when they go to bed around 7ish, I'll either play the PlayStation, Formula 1, which I'm into at the moment, or me and the missus will sit down and tuck into a series. So that's me. That's really me. Outside the training, I like to chill at home with the family. Probably in the international break, I'll go a bit wild. I'll take the missus out for dinner, or the kids will come out for dinner. We'll go to soft plays, but it's weird because I spend half the week recovering from the Saturday's game, and then the next half of the week it's okay, looking forward to the next Saturday. So I just like to chill during the week, and like I said, in the international breaks, I let my hair down a bit.
Is it fair to say football's always been an obsession for you? I've read about, even in your early days, going to the local park to practice on your weaker foot and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it has become, and I think in my younger years, let's say, probably while I was in school, I was a schoolboy up until 16, it was probably just a bit of fun. I knew I had talent, and it was just about going there and showing my talent, whereas I went in full time, and there was this guy at Spurs, Yasser Kazim, who was the same age as me, and he sort of opened my eyes to the other side of it, to like, can you work harder when you leave the training ground? Why go home when you can go to the park, practice your weaker foot? If you do something with your stronger foot, make sure you do exactly the same with your weaker foot. And he really sort of opened my eyes to getting the maximum out of your body and out of your potential. And I think that the obsession from when I left school definitely grew to the stage where football's a short career. It's a 10, 15 year career. You don't want to retire at 35 or hopefully later in my case and have regrets. And I definitely don't have any regrets. I may have made mistakes in the past, but in terms of getting the best out of my body and out of my talent, I definitely feel that I've done that. I think you've probably seen the goal at Old Trafford, weaker foot. I probably wouldn't have been able to do that when I was younger, but just work hard on the training pitch. If I'm doing shooting after with dunk, I make sure I do the same amount with my right and with my left. So when it comes to Old Trafford, it's just natural. It's not, right, this is my weaker side, right, I may have to just put my foot for it, or do you know what I mean, just focus on contact, whereas I know I wanted to put it in the bottom corner because of all the practice on the training pitch.
You spoke recently about your admiration for Cristiano Ronaldo. I know he's a hero of yours. Is that sort of attitude part of that admiration, and is it, you know, the stuff he does to sort of get longevity and the best out of himself?
That's exactly that. That's why when people ask me who I prefer, Ronaldo or Messi, of course they're both two of the greatest players who've ever played the game. But why I appreciate Ronaldo more is because Messi probably came out the womb with an ability to dribble past players and score. He's been doing it for absolutely years since his Barcelona debut, whereas Ronaldo, when he first went to Man United, he was skillful, he was quick, didn't really have any end product, and it's like he went from that to 5 years later being the best player in the world, winning Ballon d'Or. So I appreciate that hard work and that graft that it takes, the dedication, the money he's spent to get the most out of his body. So that's why I'll never put myself in the same sentence, don't get me wrong, but on a lesser scale, I'm that sort of player. I'm somebody who has talent, but who has dragged the most out of his talent by sacrifice, by dedication, by investing in things that will help my body. And that's why he is my idol, and that's why I appreciate him more than Lionel Messi.
And looking ahead, you mentioned hopefully plenty of time left in the playing days, but have you got plans beyond that? I know you've done your B licence. Is it more about focusing on the here and now?
Yeah, listen, I've done my coaching badges in last May, so I'm on the way to getting my B licence. I did a bit of media work in the summer and last season, so when I retire, whenever that may be, I want to have something that I can go into straight away rather than have a year of twiddling my thumbs trying to figure out what I want to do. So there's the media route, there's the coaching route. Hopefully, when I retire, it's about picking which one that I want to do at the time, but hopefully there's many more years left in the tank yet.
And heading back to Everton for a second, who have you become close to in the squad in these early weeks you've been here?
Definitely Seamus, the captain. I think he's welcomed all of us, new players. Fabian Delph, I knew from I was on loan with him at Leeds many years ago, played with him at England. Dimi, Alex, everyone really. Yeah. Everyone's been quite welcome. It was quite a close-knit group. It's difficult at the moment because of COVID, we're in four separate dressing rooms, but definitely the players I spoke about are in my dressing room, so I've been able to bond with them a lot more.
We spoke about Liverpool and North West earlier. How are you finding the Scouse accent?
Yeah, it's good. I take the mick out of John Joe every day about his accent and some of his phrases, but yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good fun.
Who's harder to understand, John Joe or the Greek when you taught yourself Greek?
It's close. No, the Greek's very difficult, but no, John Joe, I'll take the mick out of him, but he's a great lad.
And just tell us about you teaching yourself Greek.
My mother's Greek Cypriot, and we used to go to Cyprus every year. And I was never able to, like I said before, when we meet up and with the family, we have our barbecue, I was never able to conversate with the Greek speaking. My nan, who sadly passed away recently, she only spoke Greek, so I was never able to communicate with her. And it was like my missus was pregnant, and I wanted to kind of teach my kids Greek because when kids are young, they're like sponges. So I wanted to teach them while they could pick up quite quickly. So something I just ordered a few books and started teaching myself. Got quite good at it, but once the kids are born and they occupy your time, like I spoke about before, it's difficult to keep up. So I kind of know the basic. My daughter knows the basic. My son, who's just turned 2, he's just starting to speak, so he's just starting to say a few words as well now. So it's nice to be able to communicate without the missus knowing what we're saying.
He doesn't come that I work with.
Nice. Nice. Did you know it was one touch?
No.
No, you didn't know.
No.
Sean, Sean, get the ball.
So Andros, a couple of days out from the game now. Talk to us about how you like to prepare for a game in terms of looking at individuals and the opposition, that sort of thing.
We do a lot of work on the opposition in training. I probably look at my individual clips from the previous game, see what I did good, see what I could improve on. And then the night before the game, the goalkeeping coach, Alan, he'll send us their goalkeeper, so how he likes to save. For example, the last game, David De Gea, he likes to save shots with his legs, so make sure they're either side of him so he can't get them with his legs. So that's sort of the preparation side in terms of analysis and video and that side of it.
Has your preparation changed over the years, the way you like to approach games?
I'm not superstitious, but I like a routine. I always like to do the same thing, whether it be my meal, the time I go to bed, the time I wake up, what I have for breakfast. Everything needs to be exactly the same as it was before.
What is the meal?
Night before, I always go for chicken pasta, a little bit of veg on the side. In the mornings, I'll go for a scrambled eggs and on toast with some smoked salmon on the side. And then for pre-match, I'll have same again, chicken and pasta.
Looking at the manager and the team setup, how much work is done sort of a few days out, and how does it sort of taper down into match day?
I think from the start of the week, we start preparing both offensively, defensively, looking at what they do, looking at how we expose them. The manager's got great attention to detail. He knows exactly what the team we're playing against. He knows their exact strengths and weaknesses. So it's no real, normally at clubs, it's Thursday or Friday, you start doing tactical work, whereas we're doing it throughout the week.
And then looking at West Ham specifically, what are you expecting from the game?
Of course, it's going to be a very tough game, it always is. Last year or so, they've gone up another level, very good side. But having said that, if we can replicate the performance at Old Trafford, at home in front of our fans, I'm sure we'll do enough to get a positive result.
first. Obviously, a really frustrating afternoon there. How do you sort of sum up your feelings on the back of that?
It's a tough one to take. It was a game that could have gone either way. I felt they had a lot of possession, but we probably created the better openings, better chances. On one or two occasions, probably should have done a bit better. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, we haven't picked up any points. We've conceded a set piece, and that's football. We have to move on. We're still in touching distance of where we would like to be. We just have to go back to training, and Watford Saturday we're going to have back at home. We're going to have the great support again, and we just have to get back to winning ways.
Looking at the process, more generally speaking, from now to Watford, how do you sort of unwind from this game and recover in the next couple of days?
It's difficult. Not much. It was 6 days between games, so you have to get over it quickly. You probably, when we go into training, we do our recovery tomorrow. Everyone's going to be still disappointed, still thinking about what we should have done better, speaking amongst ourselves. I'm sure the manager will speak to us, but then the next day when you come into training on Tuesday, unfortunately, you have to look forward. You have to let go of the defeat and the disappointment and have to look forward to Watford, and that's football in the Premier League, unfortunately.
And we've got a bank of 3 games coming up now: Watford, then Wolves, then Spurs before the next international break. How important is that chunk of games going to be if we're really going to kick on this season and achieve what we want to achieve?
Very important. Other than the Aston Villa game, I felt we've been there or thereabouts. We've gone behind, we've come back, we've showed great character. We went behind today, we didn't drop our heads, we kept creating chances, and probably could have, on another day, at least taken away a point. So listen, we have to take heart. We've still got big players missing. We know we can go to places like Old Trafford, get a point today, create a lot of chances. So we're still a confident bunch. We still know that we can win football matches, and there's an important block of games coming now where we need to pick up points, and I'm sure with the work that we'll do on the training pitch with the manager, I'm sure we'll get back to winning ways on Saturday.